So, farming, like any adventure or venture, takes preparation and planning. You have to be ready to give it what it takes. And so, in this video, I want to share with you some essentials for starting your own farm. Perhaps you have a smallholder farm or a much bigger farm. Think of this as the basics, the baseline that you need and can then build off of to set up and establish your own farm. This video would be in two parts. So this is the first, and be sure to subscribe so you do not miss out on the next one and other entertaining content we have coming your way. So the first necessary consideration for your goat farm, or perhaps any animal farm if you think about it, is food. We have a video on the channel on low costs and free ways to get food from different sources. I'll be linking it in the description. In that video, we explore a number of sources that we've used on our farm to get food that is really cheap. Food is definitely not cheap, it's a major cost center for many farmers, and I do understand this. So, it's super important that you plan how you're going to feed your animals. But apart from just thinking about costs, there's also thinking about making sure all the animals eat. In my experience, some goats tend to be stronger than others, so those ones tend to be more confrontational and are likely to bully the weaker ones. So when you feed your animals, you want to pay attention to make sure that everyone is getting the same or adequate amount of food. You don't want one animal growing and the other one being stunted. You want them to all grow, you want them to be healthy, and you want them to be agile enough, especially if you're selling them, whether you're raising them to for meat, whatever the case. You want healthy growing goats. There's also something to consider from my experience. Some goats are just leaner in nature, maybe due to genetic reasons. Some are more vibrant, some are more lively, fatter than others. So I think, if you come across such an animal, don't sweat it. Try and make sure you're giving them enough food, that they're on a healthy diet, and they would grow and turn out to be what they're supposed to be. You just learn from experience that animals come like human beings in different sizes, um, stature, strength levels. So yes, just make sure you're giving them good food and they should be fine. Of course, another thing to think about is variety and a good diet. Like human beings, of course, goats also need a good diet. We're working on videos that give you meal plan ideas. So whether you're feeding your goats twice a day or thrice a day, we want to show you what you can give them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If those videos are ready, they would be in the description box so that you can check them out. But the idea here is that your goats need a balanced diet as well. They need to be fed foliage, which is the plants or the leaves that you're giving them. But for us here, we all supplement those with some homemade food, sometimes some raw food, some fruits and vegetables from the farm. So we try to give them a rounded diet, and we've never had issues with sick animals. So we think that is working pretty well. Some people buy already made feed for animals, for goats. Those are mixed and according to chemical the preferred chemical composition and all of that. We do not use those. We feed them mostly plants and then supplement with natural foods and sometimes cooked meals. Um, this method has worked for us. Please do your own consultation, study your animals, get to know what they like, what is good for them and their strength. Just watch, notice your animals, make sure that whatever you're giving them is good for them. Um, yeah, and you should be good when it comes to diet. So please make sure that your animals are getting a steady, constant supply of healthy, good food that aligns with a balanced diet. When goats are well fed, what they do mostly is just lay around and lazy about. Think about it, what they actually do. So, I personally think that with food, you can avoid, well, with good food and adequate food, you can avoid many issues. First, of course, is unhealthy, sickly animals, but then you can avoid all the unruliness, all the ransacking of garbage bags and just making a mess around the farm, and being untidy and unruly can be avoided when the animals are well fed. Yeah, that's my little secret. So pay attention to them, find out what they really like and enjoy and what's also good for them, and give it to them, and you'd avoid several issues. So to recap, food, number one, essential. You need to plan for it. Plan to save cost as well because it's a major cost item for animal farmers. Make sure all your animals are adequately fed with good quality food, of course, a variety of healthy food or a balanced diet. And with the right food, you can avoid health issues and prevent unruly behavior. So the second thing, of course, is shelter. Goats are nomadic in nature, and I don't think they like being enclosed very much from experience. And frankly, we like to let them roam about when they're not causing trouble. However, shelters are very important due to adverse weather conditions like a heat wave or maybe just the very vibrant sunlight like we have here in the tropics, or it could be because of rain, really. As you can see, your shelter can be as simple as you need it to be. Let me know if you'd like a video on the components and price of our own shelter. Just drop me a comment. Finally, if your farm is in a terrain that is not so conducive for your goats to move around freely, then a shelter is even more important for you. I've been asked, so remember this. Goats sleep and perspire, so they need a nice house to sleep and to shelter them from adverse weather. So the third thing on the list is space or a grazing area. Goats, of course, like I said before, are nomadic in nature. They like to move around, they like to graze. So you want to allow them some space to graze and dissipate some energy because they eat well and are vibrant in nature. And the next thing, they're jumping around. And you really don't want them to do that in a small enclosed space. So you need to give them some grazing area, some space for them to stretch those legs. And make no mistake, the younger goats or kids are even more vibrant and strong. They're jumping everywhere, they're flying in the air all the time. So I can't imagine them being in a small restricted area. When you're planning for space, don't just think you need it for your adult goats or nannies and those. You also need to plan for your kids. If they're having lots of kids, then they need lots of space to run around. Altogether, just plan to have adequate space for the number of goats or animals that you have. So, number four, essential, is a water source. They need clean drinking water, whether goats or other animals. Water is a necessity every time, and your animals need it clean and safe enough for drinking. Like you, if they drink bad water, then you're calling for health issues, and we don't want that, right? For us, we use a borehole. It's permanently shut, and we just use this orange tree barricade to prevent the goats from going on it and pooping on it to avoid it getting contaminated. But yes, this is a borehole that is permanently shut. This is our source of water at the farm, and it has served us for several years. It was a one time digging cost, but maybe for you, you don't have to dig a borehole. Maybe there's another source from a council authority. Whatever the case may be for you, as long as the water is good and it's clean, then it should be safe for your goats to drink. Yeah, trust me. Plan for water. Water is a good requirement given climate issues. Right now, it's important to make sure that you have a dependable and reliable water source for your animals. Okay, and be sure to take it easy on water. You don't want to waste water. So always manage your water usage. Okay, finally for this video is a tidy environment. Guys, honestly, this is difficult because tidiness and goats are not best of friends. They poop everywhere. This is it's a regular battle to just clean up after them. Yeah, sometimes I just wish I can give them these brooms and have them clean up, but unfortunately, they are animals, so they need to be taken care of, and that includes cleaning up after them. So, you want to keep them in a tidy environment. I mean, you do not want sick animals. That is our biggest goal in our farm, and it's just avoiding any form of health issues. For us, prevention is always better than cure, so we try to avoid this by keeping to our routines of cleaning the farm early in the morning, in the middle of the day, and at night if need be. But the morning, super important. They seem to mess up things a lot over the night. Um, so, yes, keeping your environment tidy is really important. Like I've said before, these animals are really curious and adventurous, and may I add, mischievous. So you have to keep an eye on them, make sure they're not causing a havoc that would cause you, a really big damage. So um, just making sure that you're keeping an eye on them and keeping everywhere tidy would help you prevent health issues, help you, maintain sanity in your space. Really, you want a sane farm. Yeah, so definitely keep a tidy environment. They're vibrant in nature, like I've said before, so they move around a lot. They like to jump, they like to, play in their own way, but you want to try and maintain tidiness and clean up after them. Maybe you need a laborer. If you have, a bigger farm, you can hire workers to make sure the environment stays clean enough. Yes, and that's it for this video. Thank you so much for sticking to the end. Do not forget to subscribe so that you can get notified about the second part and other fun videos we have planned for you. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this. We'll be linking videos that are related in the description box so that you can check them out. And I will be seeing you soon. Take care.